Hi everyone, and welcome to ESL for You, the podcast that helps you improve your English skills and prepare for exams. I'm your host, Fabi, and today we're going to talk about the stages of life. I think this is a very interesting topic because it shows how people change and grow throughout their lives and what challenges and opportunities they face at different ages. And we're also going to learn some new vocabulary related to this topic, and I will give you some examples and definitions to help you remember them. So remember that you can find the transcripts for this episode and all the previous ones on my website, which is linked to the description of this podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is also linked in the description of this podcast. So let's start with the first stage of life, infancy. Infancy is the period from birth to about 2 years old. So that's called infancy. And nowadays, or I don't know how long people have been calling 2-year-olds like the terrible twos. I don't have any children, and I don't plan to for personal reasons. But I do agree that kids in their twos are terrible. So maybe that's why they call them the terrible twos. And anyway, that's called infancy, from birth to about 2 years old. So in this stage, a baby is completely dependent on its parents or caregivers for everything. This is a very important stage for physical, cognitive, and emotional development. Some of the vocabulary related to infancy is the following. All right, so are you ready? So many of you may not know this vocabulary, so I suggest you to take pen and paper and write it down, or just look at the transcript I mentioned before in my website. So the first one is crib. Crib is a small bed with high sides for a baby. We call that a crib. And then we have diaper. A diaper is a piece of cloth or disposable material that is wrapped around a baby's bottom and between its legs to absorb its urine and feces, or their pee and poo. You may call it pee and poo too. All right, and the next word I have here for you is pacifier. So a pacifier is a rubber or plastic object that is given to a baby to suck on for comfort. Yeah, so it is said that it's not good for you to give your baby a pacifier because their teeth will be crooked. And I agree because mine are. I used to have a pacifier with me until I was like 4. Don't tell anyone. The next one is milestone. So milestone is a significant event or achievement that in a person's life or development. For example, the baby slept in its crib all night without crying. He needs a new diaper because he wet himself. Yeah, so when a baby pees himself or herself, we just say, he wet himself or she wet herself. So she likes to play with her pacifier when she's bored. He reached an important milestone when he said his first word. All right, so those are just examples of the vocabulary I just gave you. So do you remember your childhood or your infancy, Do you remember your infancy? I don't. I think I don't remember any of that. But, there are pictures to remind me that I was quite, noisy and, not noisy because you cannot hear pictures, but there's some videos too that I was a terrible, terrible infant. Anyway, the next stage of life is childhood. Excuse me. Let me light my cigarette. Want to join me? So the next stage of life is childhood. And childhood is the period from about 2 to 12 years old when a person is still growing and learning new things. Yeah, so this is a very fun and exciting stage for exploring the world, making friends, and developing one's personality and interests. Some of the vocabulary related to childhood is the following. So the first word I have for you is playground. Playground is an outdoor area with equipment for children to play on, such as swings, slides, and seesaws. And then we have homework. As you know, homework is schoolwork that a student is required to do at home. And then we have hobby. Hobby is an activity that a person does for pleasure or relaxation in their spare time. And bully is a person who uses their strength or power to hurt or frighten someone who is weaker or smaller. Well, I do remember my childhood. I think there were many happy moments in the playground, but I never liked to do homework. I had many hobbies, which included riding bicycles, throwing small rocks at neighbors, riding horses. I always loved riding horses. But there were always bullies at school who made me feel terrible when I was in elementary school. But when I got to middle school, I became a bully, kind of. So now I have some more examples. Those are my own examples. Now I will give you some more examples of these words in use. The children had a great time in the playground. They went on the swings, slides, and seesaws. He has a lot of homework to do tonight. He has to finish his math problems and write an essay. Her hobby is painting. She likes to use different colors and brushes to create beautiful pictures. He was bullied by some older kids at school. All right, and they called him names and took his lunch money. Yep, that usually happens. They call you names and take your lunch money. I hope schools are better now. And the next stage of life I have here for you is adolescence or teenage years. Adolescence is a period from about 13 to 19. So as you notice, the numbers 13 to 19 all end in teen, and that's why we call them teenagers or teenage years. And so we also call it adolescence. So when a person goes through puberty and becomes sexually mature, that is adolescence. And this is a very challenging and confusing stage for dealing with physical, hormonal, and social changes. Some of the vocabulary related to adolescence I have for you is the following. Puberty. So puberty is a process of physical changes by which a child's body becomes an adult body that is capable of reproducing. So that's basically it. You're capable of reproduction, so that's puberty. And then acne. Acne is a skin condition that causes pimples, blackheads, and whiteheads on the face and other parts of the body. I did really have a lot of acne when I was a teenager, and that's disgusting, really. And it's really bad for your, self-esteem. It really hurts your self-esteem. And then we have peer pressure. And I think we've all been victims of peer pressure at some point in life. So peer pressure is an influence that people of the same age or group have on each other to have in a certain way or do certain things. Yeah, to behave in a certain way. For example, let's say that, a great example of this is that I'm smoking right now. I didn't always used to smoke, I didn't always smoke. I started smoking when I was 16 or 17 because of the peer pressure. And I would see everybody around me would do it, so why wouldn't I? So I started smoking too. So that is an example of peer pressure. But now I just do it because I'm addicted to it and I like it. Okay, and the next word is crush. Crush is a strong but usually short-lived feeling of attraction or admiration for someone. So I did have a crush on many kids when I was a teenager. But when you're a teenager, you have a crush on someone, and the one who has a crush on you, you don't even pay attention to. So here are some more examples. She started puberty when she was a 12-year-old. She grew taller, her voice changed, and she got her first period. So he had acne when he was 15 years old. He tried different creams and medications to get rid of it. She felt peer pressure from her friends to smoke cigarettes. Oh, look, that's me. They said it was cool and everyone was doing it. He had a crush on his teacher when he was 16 years old. He thought he was smart, that she was smart and beautiful. So, I also used to teach at middle schools and high schools, and yeah, sometimes students have crushes on you. They have a secret crush on you, and it's cute, but scary at the same time. Okay, and the next stage of life is adulthood. And, well, my motto is adulthood sucks. When you're a kid, you want to grow up. When you grow up, you want to go back to being a kid. But, well, adulthood is a period from about 20 years old until death. Yeah, until death. And yes, we're all going to die someday. And when a person is fully grown and independent, this is a very diverse and complex stage for pursuing one's goals, forming relationships, and facing responsibilities. Some of the vocabulary that I have for you here about adulthood is career. So a career is a profession or occupation that a person follows for a long period of time. And so that's a career. Like, I have a career in English teaching already because I've been teaching for so long. Okay, and then we have marriage. Marriage is death. Oh no, I'm joking. Marriage is a legal or religious union between two people who love each other and want to share their lives together. So that is marriage. To me, marriage is just a contract, but that's just my perspective of marriage. Then we have mortgage. Mortgage is a loan that a person takes out from a bank or other institution to buy a house or property. So I have a mortgage to pay because I'm an adult. I already have a career. I'm not married. But, the mortgages really, really kill you because you got to be paying them for 30 years. Fortunately, I moved to Mexico and I managed to pay it off sooner. Okay, and finally, we have retirement. And to me, retirement is what kills people slowly. Retirement is the act or state of retiring. So you stop working. That's retirement. So, well, that's it for today's episode on stages of life. Thank you so much for listening today. I'm your host, Fabi, again, and remember to visit my YouTube channel and also leave me a comment here on Spotify if you like this episode. And if you didn't like it, you can also go ahead and leave a hate message. I love them too. So thank you so much again, and I will see you in the next episode.